So today we are going to talk about the scourge. Is that even a word? Scourge or disease of tomorrow. The disease of someday. The disease of when I have time. The disease of when I have the right headspace. That's probably one of the number one things I hear people use as a reason to not take action. And we know inaction doesn't just lead to you staying the same, it leads to you going backwards. But they will say, I really want to do this, Lee. I really want to change. I really want to lose some body fat. I want to get fit. I want to improve my mental health. I want to be a better parent. I want to do all these things, but I'm just not in the right headspace right now. And I always say the same thing. How would you know that you were in the right headspace? Like, what would need to happen? Would you just wake up one day and all of a sudden say, do you know what? All these things that I've been saying that I needed to do to improve my life for the last 20 years, but haven't taken action on because I'm not in the right headspace. All of a sudden I woke up and I went, do you know what? I've rolling out of bed this morning, had a nice big mouthful of my coffee, and whoopie-doo, I am in the right headspace. Let's go. No. So it's a difficult word because tomorrow, someday can also be used in terms of hope, can't it? We hope for a better tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a better day. Tomorrow I get another chance to try again. That's where the kicker comes in. You don't know that right now. I don't know that, and you don't know that. And many of us have had a very real experience of that in the last 2 to 3 weeks alone. Somebody in the group who I'm not going to mention who has lost a cousin and an uncle in the space of 7 days. So imagine those people waiting for tomorrow, waiting for the right headspace. And I've come to believe when I was journaling this weekend, like, I don't think tomorrow is a good word. I think it's a dangerous word. Now, because it depends which way we dictate it. Tomorrow I get another chance to try again. So don't beat yourself up about today. I get that. But also, let's switch it the other way and make sure we're doing everything we need to do today. We're being grateful. We're telling people we love them. We're working hard. We're focusing on our dreams. We're focusing on our lives, not other people's lives, because it can become a very dangerous word. Because in terms of the dictation, that it might not ever come, and it can lead to inaction. Like, how many times have we all said that? I'll do it tomorrow. Jan, I'm going to get this microphone sorted tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do that tomorrow, you know? And tomorrow can never come. But tomorrow or one day can very often diminish the significance of today and all that we are today and all that we have to achieve today. Because it tells you that one day you will begin working towards your dreams. But 90% of people that talk about tomorrow and one day and someday ultimately take every single one of those dreams, aspirations, goals, and visions to their grave. And that's why I'm really into following Mr. Gravener at the moment, who was Michael Jordan's success coach. And he was the guy who said in his audio in one of the videos that Jason made me, and he said, you know, if you think the cost of winning is too high, wait until you get the bill from regret, because that's generational. And this is what he means, is it's passed on someday. Someday will lead to regret. Tomorrow will lead to regret, because it convinces us that we can just keep being as we are, doing less, not living to our potential, not being anywhere near as active as we need to be, not taking action towards our dreams. Because guess what? We've always got tomorrow. Well, guess what? We haven't. None of us know that for sure. None of us have evidence that we'll have tomorrow. So it convinces you that you can just wait and you can keep avoiding the work and you can stay in the toxic relationship to avoid the conversation. You can stay in the career that you hate because you're too scared of change. You can start eating healthy next week. You can do it after the wedding. You can do it after the holiday. You can do it after Valentine's Day. You can do it whenever, and this is where some people get locked in, because it's a fear of change. I've spoken to people who I've mentored through, and this is something I've done privately with a lot of people, mentored through ending relationships. Well, I can't tell her now, it's Valentine's Day next week. Well, I can't tell her now because it's Auntie Karen's wedding in March. I can't tell her now because we've got that holiday booked in April. Well, I can't tell her now because it's her fucking birthday in May. And I can't tell her now because, well, in June, it's her dad's 50th. There'll always be a thing that will lead to you saying tomorrow. There'll always be a thing that you were saying now, until you do it that many times that 5 years have passed. You're still fat, you're still unfit, you still hate your job, you still haven't had sex with your partner for 5 years and you're sleeping in separate beds, and you're still procrastinating on, that nearly came out really wrong, didn't it? Taking the action you need to live and do towards the things that you keep saying you won't. Because I love this phrase as well. And I put this back into my morning affirmations, and I don't know why I ever took it out. And that is, how would we be living our life today if we knew it was our last? If we knew this was our last week, how would we be living our life? Our last week, month, or year? Imagine that. You've got Ali, Jan, Rebecca, Jane, Pippa, Luke, and everyone in between. By the way, Pippa, with your permission, can I post your transformation in the Facebook group later? She's got a fucking towel on her head and she looks miserable as fuck. But she was like, Hayley, I don't really think I'm seeing much progress. And I was like, hey, Pippa, I'd put that out as a fucking 6-month transformation right now. It's unbelievable. Anyway, what was I talking about? So yeah, how would we be living? Would we be avoiding the awkward conversations if we had a month to live? Would we still be staying quiet at work if we had a month to live? Of course we wouldn't. Imagine if there were no tomorrows. And imagine that's like, and this is something that I'm also gonna have to that I need to try and build into work as well. Because I think whether it's a relationship, whether it's fitness, whether it's work or anything, you get comfortable, don't you? And you're like, oh, I'm okay now. And then I start to go backwards. And it's like a mindset shift that I want to have for work is going back to that time when I was like within £500 of things like bouncing at the end of the month. Because I decided it was a good idea to get a fucking 5-bedroom ranch for one person till I realized I couldn't afford it 12 months down the line. But how was I working then? Am I working the same now? No, definitely not. When things were critical, how were we working? If your mental health was critical, how would you be working on your mindset? If your physical health was critical, someone said to you, listen, Ali, you need to run 5K today. If not, you're going to die in the morning. Would you go out and do the 5K? Of course you would. So again, go back to there, because what tomorrow does is, I believe tomorrow or someday masks itself as an escape for the things that we're held back from doing via fear, via lack of courage, via self-limiting beliefs. As you know, because really it's the avoidance of discomfort. It's not because I'll start tomorrow because I know I've always got tomorrow. It's I'll start tomorrow because I can't be arsed and I'm fucking lazy. It's not I'll do that someday because I've got all the time in the world. It's I'll do that someday because at the moment I'm still resistant to change. So I think having this tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. If we're saying there's always tomorrow, what's that going to do? It's going to encourage you to just be content with where you are now. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, I believe that the biggest mental disease we face is being content. And this is why I did that training on the art of stretching. By the way, I've pinned the last 47 training sessions in all 3 WhatsApp groups. So you can never not find them. But I think this wanting to settle, to get to a certain place and then be able to maintain, that's what makes us lazy. I think tomorrow makes us lazy. I think someday makes us lazy because we're saying, hey, I don't really matter today because I've got time. So I'll just go back to doing what I'm doing and what makes me feel comfortable. So then I go backwards. So, and this is where I think, this is what I journaled out, and this is what I think the difference is that contentment and gratitude are not the same things. I'm grateful for everything I have today, but I'm not content with it. I want more. I want more money. I want more success. I want more impact. I want more inspiration. I want more challenge. I want more holidays. I want more everything. I want more success because that's what keeps me moving forwards towards it. If I'm happy and content with what I've got, I'm going to stop showing up and going backwards, start going backwards. But I can be grateful for what I've got and everything that I've got, but not content. Does that make sense? How they're 2 different things that they could be seen as the same? Because there is no standing still, because time moves on and standing still leads to inaction. This is what there's so many, listen, like how many of you, Pip, you're one of them. How many people will either watching on replay comment yes or no? Amanda, you're another one. Matthew Smith, you're another one. That's just out of the few people that are watching. How often did you do something, this plan, got to a place, thought I've got to this place, right, I'm okay now. So I'm all right, Lee, I'm off, I'm going to leave. And you're all left and you're all back. Because as soon as you didn't have the accountability, because as soon as you didn't have someone pushing you to set new goals and be more and do more, you thought, I've got what I wanted out of this. I'm where I need to be. I'm just going to stay here. And we can't stay there because time moves on. So by default, we'll go backwards. We either move along with time or we move faster because we want more. And, you know, very often, you know, this is, you know, if you could say, oh, I just want to get to that point where I have £1,000 a month disposable income. That's enough for me and I can live my life. Well, when you get there, you'll then think, right, what do I need to do to just stay here? And then you'll stop showing up. You'll stop doing the work. I just want to run 10K. And then when I can run 10K, I'll be happy that I've run 10K. And then you'll go backwards because you'll stop doing what you were doing to move forwards. So there is no stay still maintenance here. We're either doing more and moving forwards or we're doing less and going backwards. That thing in the middle that we keep looking for, that maintenance, that comfort, that place where I can do this stuff and get to there. And when I get to there, I'll be happy. I can just stay there. Doesn't exist. This is the art of stretching. We have to be always stretching for more. You can't just say, I want to lose 3 stone, lose 3 stone and stop what you're doing. Because the 3 stone will come back on. You can't just say, I want to learn to run 10K. And then when I've learned to run 10K, I'll be happy. Because within a week, you won't be able to run 1K because you'll have stopped doing the work. This is why I set the 200 miles. And afterwards, I'll set something bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'll have more and more and more and more sunbeds until I do become England's David Goggins. But we have to keep stretching. And it's like I've told you guys the story. Gary Turney, one of my clients a long time ago, I've just redone his transformation, actually. It's incredible. Very, very high level businessman, owns CS2 Transport in Chesterfield, multi-millionaire. And I used to say to him, as I said, oh, Gary, I just want to get, I can't remember what number I picked, I just want to get 50 grand in the bank. So what do you want to get that for? Because then I'll be safe. Like I'd have to do, once I've got that saved, I'd have to do something really stupid to like mess my life up and get into financial difficulty. He went, that's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. Like proper Yorkshireman, doesn't mince his words whatsoever. That's a stupid idea. Just keep putting all your money back into your business, which funnily enough is what I've been doing for the last 5 years, but now need to pull back on it again. It's a constant journey of involvement and self-improvement. But he went, why are you going to get out of bed to train clients at 6 o'clock in the morning when you've got 50K in the bank? Why are you going to do the late nights? Why are you going to keep pushing your social medias? He went, you'll get fucking lazy within days. The more you build that up, and I'm not saying don't have savings for safety. We all want savings for safety, and I do. But do you get the theory of what he's saying? And Phil Graham taught me this as well back in 2018. He went, working towards a safety mentality is dangerous. So I just need this amount of money, then I'm safe. I just need to pay this debt off, then I'm safe. I just need to get to this weight, and then I'm safe. Safe, 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 safe. One, safe's boring, so we're not excited to get out of bed. Quick tangent here as well. People struggling to get out of bed. Go back to being a kid when you were Christmas. Imagine a kid hitting snooze 5 fucking times and then forgetting to get the Christmas presents because they got out of bed late. They don't, do they? What do kids do? Oh my God. Like, they can't wait to get out of bed. It's my favorite thing of the entire year now, seeing Logan's face when he went, whoop, whoop, whoop. He's been. Like, and they tend to do that every day. That's only because they've created excitement, and that's what we need to create. And I've now completely forgotten what I'm talking about, but I will come back to it at some point. But again, that's why you snooze. I'm not a morning person. Fuck off. I struggle getting out of bed because you haven't got anything to get out of bed for. And it's our job to create that. Back to Gary. Head's gone. So what would I have to get out of bed for? That's the same thing. That's where it's come from. That's gone around in circles. So if I've got all this safe stuff, if I've got all this maintenance, if I've got all this comfort, what am I going to get out of bed for? This is why I embrace discomfort, because comfort will make me lazy. Safe will make me lazy. When you can permanently live, this is nothing to do with my notes today. Love it. When you can permanently live, Jan, you're doing this at the moment, in a place of growth. Always looking, like if you read Jan's check-in, there's always something new, whether it's the work with the veterans, whether it's the dog qualifications, whether it's 750-mile round trips. There's always something new. And that's what keeps us moving forward. So what you will find is if you're constantly working towards growing and moving forwards, safety will take care of itself. But if we're looking to get to safety to a point, oh, I just want this and then I'll be okay. You won't, you'll get bored. Because whilst as well we have time, we do have time, but we don't know how much. And we need to understand delaying this instant need for gratification, which would be not wanting the 50K right now And if I don't get it in 30 days because I worked every day and sent an email, then I'm not good enough and everything's wrong and everything in the world's bad and it must be my coach and yada, yada, yada. But it's wrong to convince ourselves that we have our whole lives to get where we want to be. And that's what people do. And some people, maybe you, maybe me, on certain things, will literally be getting started tomorrow for the rest of their lives until they die. And that is why tomorrow is a disease. That is why it's a dangerous word. Because always having tomorrow, always getting started tomorrow, always thinking you have time evolves into lack of action because I can do it tomorrow. It evolves into procrastination. It evolves into never really doing what we want to do to be the person that we really want to be. And that is a one-way road to regret. And I've said this before, there's only one thing that I'm afraid of. And that is being sat with Logan on my deathbed and having to explain to him how much more Daddy could have achieved if only he was willing to stop staying tomorrow and start to do the work. That is what scares me. Not taking action, not failing, not messing up, not going bankrupt, not breaking my leg, not being mocked, not being judged, not being laughed at, is living a life full of regret. Because it's worse, isn't it? That's like an epiphany I've just had. Tomorrow is worse than failing. Of course it is, because tomorrow is worse than failing because you never even got started. Tomorrow means there was never even a beginning. It was just a wish, a hope, a vision, a dream, someday. It's worse than failing because you never even got started, because you were putting it off until the time was right. And then the right time never arrived. And then before you knew it, you were dust. So whatever you want to do, there will never be a better time than right now. That sounds so cheesy, and I've heard that so many times. But right now, you have the opportunity to change. You have the opportunity to do the work. You have the opportunity to live the life that you've always wanted to live, the life of a winner. You have the opportunity to inspire, to impact, to succeed, and to smash goals. And I don't know what Jan's just said in the comments. I have to turn them off because I get too distracted. But I just saw having had cancer, because we don't know how many tomorrows we're going to have. So live now. Stop giving a damn what people think. Stop avoiding difficult conversations. Stop avoiding taking action. Because the last thing any of us want is to be meeting up in December, looking back on this year and it having been just another year of life, another year of stagnation, another year of regret, another year of tomorrow, another year of maybe, another year of wishing you've had the courage to be and do what you keep talking about and saying that you want to do. Because one day there will be no more tomorrow. So what does it fucking matter? We're all going to be dust one day. I don't know. I don't know if I talked about with you guys. Marcus's mum died just before Christmas. Um, again, it's so philosophical. We're all going to be dust one day, bro. I think were his exact words. But that's very much the mantra that he lives off. That's why he just does stuff. He's fucking all over the world 24/7. He doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks about him, his life, or anything. He's just living life because he's come to that mindset of, do you know what? One day there will be no more tomorrows. So all of us, and each and every one of us, this is why I've entitled this training, The Power of Right Now. Because that's all we really have. Each of us have the power of right now. And again, if you're watching this and you are that person who hasn't taken action, you're the person who signed up to the Unbreakable 90 Challenge, invested in yourself, and you've done sweet FA apart from get pissed, eat shit, and make excuses for the last 6 weeks. There's at least 5 of you, I know that. Don't beat yourself up about it. Doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. It's gone. It's finished. But what you do have is today. And every journey to success started with a single step. 3 years ago, inspired by Marcus, my 200-mile run will have began with 1 kilometer. Do you know what that is? That's evidence that you can do it. A 15-stone ex-rugby player and doorman riddled with energy, with injury and metal in most parts of his body, who was seriously battling mental health at the time, can do it. So can you. But it began with 1 kilometer. Didn't begin with 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles. It began with 1. So have the courage to move forward today. Have the courage to stop making excuses. Have the courage to stop worrying about tomorrow, next week, and the week after. And start trusting that the only thing you have to worry about is today. And that is the power of right now. Because if you move forward today, you'll be further forward than yesterday. Doesn't matter January, week 1, week 2, week 3, what you didn't do, who let you down, why you didn't do it, why are you struggling, what you pissed off about, that you, I don't know, frustration at the results that you didn't get with the work that you didn't do, if you were honest. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing before, right that second, matters. What matters is what you do today. Because if you move forward 1 step today and 1 step tomorrow, you'll be 365 steps forward by February the 19th or whatever it is, 2024. That's all you need to do, just 1 day. Not tomorrow, today. To be stronger, fitter, healthier, happier, more knowledgeable, richer, more content, filled with focus, mission, purpose, and drive. Because you didn't wait for tomorrow. You took action today, not tomorrow, today. And this is the difference between dreaming and achieving and living the life that you truly deserve. Have a phenomenal Monday. I love you all.